Hey, Orchinistas! Welcome to the channel Forever Orchids. My name is Tracy, and I'm so glad you joined me today. Did you watch that last video that I posted about that orchid show that I just recently went to over Mother's Day weekend? Wasn't that phenomenal to see all of those different genuses of orchids in bloom? Oh my goodness, it was so nice. Well, if you guys know me by now, I have a problem. Yeah. I'm addicted. Um, we should have Orchid Anonymous addiction, something. You know me by now. I can't go to an orchid show and not come home with an orchid. I have a problem. Yeah, I really do. I love orchids. You guys know that. So let me show you what I got at that show. So let's start with this little guy right here, this little seedling here. The vendor that I went to was telling me that on Friday, now today is Monday that I am taping this, and on Friday, the American Orchid Society judges were judging the show. And when they were done doing that, they went back to her booth and the vendor booth, and they just were all buying this up. They were scarfing them up. And so she was telling me and a friend of mine about this. And so I looked up the picture online because this is a seedling, it's not in bloom. I'm going to put a picture right here of what this looks like. Now, let me tell you what it is. This is an RBY TLDC Divine Phoenix Pterodactyl is the clonal name. Now, this orchid won an award at the World Orchid Conference in 2021. And this is a Brassavola hybrid. And it is the Brassavola cucullata species that was used. Now, I do believe this is what the tag says, but I need to confirm if the taxonomists have now changed. I do feel like there was some little bit of controversy and a correction on whether this is the species is cucullata or and I'll put up a name of the other one right now. I can't think of it on how to pronounce it. It starts with an A. So I'm not going to butcher the name. I'll just put it right across the bottom here. So I will correct the video if it is the other species and not the cucullata. Okay. But anyway, that was crossed with a big, fluffy, dark pigmented Cattleya flower. RLC, Rhyncholalia cattleya, Bryce Canyon. Now, Bryce Canyon has been around for a while and used in other hybridizations. And so it's really interesting to see this cross here. Now, this particular flower could easily be 1 in 10,000 of the seedlings that were produced from this cross, because typically Brassavola hybrid or Brassavola species will pass on to their progeny spots and usually light colors, whites, creams, yellow, greens, kind of more of your much lighter colors, not dark pigmented flowers like this pterodactyl clone here. So a friend of mine, like I said, we decided we would both get one and try it out. So it's going to be interesting. Now, this grower has this growing in a mesh pot. We got a little dead root here we can take care of, but growing in a mesh pot, okay? And she was telling me the reason why she does that is because in her greenhouse environment, they would dry out so fast she couldn't keep up with the watering. So this is how she's growing them in a double protection, the net pot and then another plastic pot. Now I'm going to give all of my orchids that I got from this haul 30 days at least in my environment to get adjusted to the ambient temperature and humidity in my grow space before repotting. Okay, so we have that one. And then the next one that I got, another little seedling here. This is an Encyclia Mariani. Marii, excuse me, Encyclia Marii. And I do believe Encyclia, that has been changed. The tag here says PSH. Marii crossed with a sibling. So I'll put up the correct name down here on the bottom. I just know this as an encyclia. But look at the flower. Look at this flower right here. Is that not gorgeous? Green flowers with a bright white lip and a little ruffling on the edging. So, so nice. So I really, really hope that I can grow this one. I have an Encyclia radiata that I've had for decades, and hopefully I can grow this species as well. All right, the next plant that I got here was this one here. I pre-ordered this one from her. I looked on her website and saw that she had this and pre-ordered it. Now, I have seen this in flower back in September at another Orchid Society show. That vendor, as well as some of the displays, had this in bloom in their displays. And this is a Bellaria, could have now been changed to Alisaria. I'll put up again the correct name down here on the bottom of the screen. These taxonomists, I tell you what, they're driving all of us crazy changing all these names. But that's what happens as we get more progressive in our testing and genetics and that sort of thing, that they can do some DNA testing and determine that they're not actually what we had labeled them as. Okay, anyway, these all used to be called odontoglossums. You might be familiar with those. Okay, so the Bellaria Marfinch Howard's Dream, this does have an American Orchid Society award of an AM, and this particular clone in the fall has really star-shaped but really dark, like a dark purple flower. They were stunning. Now, what I was told by the vendor is cooler temperatures will bring out the darker color forms that a plant could have. So this one being springtime, we could get a lighter shade on this. We could get more of a dark pink, kind of more of a fuchsia pink maybe. We'll just have to wait and see. Could just definitely be lighter in color. But I was told that typically these will bloom twice a year. So I'm really excited about this one. I have another Alisaria stellar Hoku, I think is how you pronounce it, that I got as a rescue plant. It's doing great. I have a new growth on it. New growth's been doing good for months, and the pseudobulbs are still nice and plump. So I thought, okay, maybe I can grow these. So I want to try a second one. So I got this one. And then the vendor had a ton of these here, just an absolute ton. They were flying off the shelf, so to speak. I just kept seeing people leaving the show with these in their hands. So I just kept looking at them. I waited to the last day to make my decision on a lot of my purchases here. This is a species, Maxillaria tenuifolia, but this is the yellow color form. This is the Yamada cultivar clonal name, and it does have an American Orchid Society award of an AM. And I just fell in love with the color. I just recently was given a division of the red color form, which is typically the standard color for it. So I've got some of those, and so far so good, but I've only had them for maybe a month. But so far, pseudobulbs are doing great on those. This one has lots of new growth on it. Look at this new growth coming up right here and here. On this pseudobulb, this is all new growth coming out on the sides here, here, and here. Pseudobulb up in here has new growth on it. But let me see if I can get the camera to focus on these flowers here so that you can see the color of them. Let's see here. Hopefully you'll be able to see those and it will focus, and it won't focus on me, but it'll focus on the flowers. I hope so. I'll still post a picture right here of what those flowers look like. Just cute little things. The petals have a tendency on the maxifolias. They come in, they cup the column, and then that little lip has little spots on it, And if I haven't said it already, this smells like coconut. It's called the coconut orchid for that very reason. And it's a sweet coconutty smell. It's just lovely, lovely. So wish me luck on that one. If anybody has one, they're supposed to be easy to grow. Typically over the last, I'm close to being a grower that can attest to, I've been growing orchids for close to 30 years. And primarily it was Phalaenopsis and Cattleyas is what I grow. And I'm starting to branch out. I have an Encyclia radiata I've had for decades. Absolutely love it. And I am branching out and getting more genuses. And so anyway, let me know in the comments if you have any of these orchids that I show. Please let me know how you take care of them in your environment to give me a little idea. I am indoors. I am starting to put some orchids outside for the summer. So this might be one that might need to go outside. I'm going to leave it in my grow space for 30 days at least, and let's figure out what I want to do with it. Okay, so that's what I purchased. But it was Mother's Day weekend. So my son came to the show and he decided that he was going to get me the Marfinch because he was like, Mom, I'm sorry, I forgot Mother's Day is coming up. Is there anything at the show that you want? I said, well, yes, of course. There are orchids at the show that I want, of course. Well, when he got there was a display from one of the societies that on one side of their table, they had just done a whole display of Paphiopedilums. And he really, really liked those. So this is what he got for me. This is a Maudii type of Paphiopedilum. I currently have Paphiopedilum spicerianum. I have two of those, and then I have a cross of the spicerianum with another orchid, and that particular one is called Paphiopedilum Victoria Spice. Has not bloomed for me, so I do not know what that one is going to look like. Can't find any pictures online. And then I have one Phragmipedium. So I don't have any of the Maudii type of Paphiopedilums, the ones with these gorgeous, gorgeous patterns on the leaves. Look at the pattern there. Look, look, look. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So this one, the vendor has a couple of these. So I let him pick from the three different seedlings that she had. And one of them was fully opened. One of them was a much smaller flower. And then he picked this one. The one that was fully open didn't have as many raised dots on the, yeah, they are raised, on the petals here. So this is the one that he picked, and the vendor was like, if that one did not sell by the end of the show, she was going to keep it. She's an AOS judge, and she's like, this is really good, really good. Okay, so this is called Paphiopedilum Sinying Alien. That is a cross between Super Suck Eureka, which has an AM by the American Orchid Society. That is crossed with Raisin Pie. That clonal name is Sinying. And then that orchid, that cross, was then crossed with a sibling. But it has finally been named Paphiopedilum. Excuse me. I'm recovering from an illness. That particular orchid has now been named Paphiopedilum Hyacinth Alien. So that's the name of this particular orchid. So I am really, really hoping that this is just not the way it's going to be. I'm really hoping that this dorsal sepal right here will go on and stand up. I really, really hope so. My son is hoping that as well. I think it would just be phenomenal if it would go ahead and do that. So maybe over the next couple of days it will do that. I went ahead and watered this today since I did not know when it was last watered. The vendor set up on Thursday. Today's Monday, so it might have been a few days. So I went ahead and watered and had fertilizer and some calcium magnesium in the mix and went ahead and soaked this plant today. Paphiopedilums love water, love, love, love water. So they like to water, be watered, dry out, but almost to the point of dry, and give them some water. So anyway, so that is the haul. that I got from the show. Again, the Maudii type of Phalaenopsis, I'm reading online that they're supposedly easy to grow. Keep our fingers crossed that that is. But when it's not in bloom, these leaves are just gorgeous. Really, really, really pretty leaves. That is the haul. So if you'll leave me some comments, please, to let me know if you have any of these orchids and how you take care of them. And until next time, guys, bye. Happy orchid growing.